There have been some videos going viral online that people are calling disturbing, and it shows JK giving someone a kiss. And what's going on with that? Photos being posted where we get to see and talk about V being shirtless, and his body as well, as we have the label allegedly speaking up. Now I know I just said that the label has spoken up, but the label has not really spoken of themselves. But people have been saying that the label has spoken up like they're speaking on behalf of the label. And this is the most annoying thing, because oftentimes, people don't know what they're talking about. Now a little while ago you might know that JK did his solo endeavors with Scooter Braun, and a lot of people have a lot of problems with that. There was a group chat leak that went kind of viral where people were addressing Scooter and JK as well as the label and talking about all of that. And I imagine that a lot of these conversations within these group chats pretty much go the same way, which quite frankly, I find kind of strange. One of the things that people were saying was this idea that the label needed help from Scooter to make more money, and then Scooter needed help repairing his reputation. And so they asked JK to help, and he would essentially help both of them. Now, of course, what I will agree upon is that the label likely did hire Scooter Braun because they wanted to make more money. They knew that he would be able to push JK further into the American market, and it seemed like JK was only willing to do an album that sounded very pop and sounded like his inspiration, like Justin Bieber. So of course, who better to work with than Justin Bieber's former manager and maybe artistic director? I actually don't know if that is true, but I'm just saying that. So I do believe that specific part. However, the other part that I don't believe, which is that Scooter needed help fixing his reputation. K-pop fans put so much emphasis on a celebrity wanting a super squeaky clean image, especially in Western culture. Something that is known in Western culture and among the celebrity groups and all of that stuff is that hate and getting death threats and all of that stuff is fairly normal. While it shouldn't be, is still fairly normal. And I mean that in a way where you cannot be successful, you cannot be famous without also being hated. Nowadays, someone who acts like a saint and who is a perfect celebrity example will get hate the same way that a Kardashian might. I say this to say that Western celebrities do not try to avoid hate. They might try explain something if they feel like they are being misinterpreted. But reputation is not as important as the K-pop community likes to make it out to be for a lot of celebrities. Look at the amount of Western celebrities that are hated but are billionaires. And this might not be something that is possible within the K-pop world, but it's very possible within the Western world, which is why these celebrities don't shy away from either being controversial, doing something controversial, doing a publicity stunt, or just being hated. So do I feel like Scooter Braun needed his reputation repaired? Absolutely not, because it would only help him. But also I just don't believe that his reputation is that important. Having a reputation that is not good is not exactly going to get him less work. It's not exactly going to get him less money. Also, he's worth like hundreds of millions of dollars, so if you were to never make a dollar ever again, he literally would be fine. But this is not the only thing that has been going on online. Some people were talking about V being shirtless or talking about his body in general. If you are not aware, prior to the military, V did go on a live stream and he did go and talk about what he wanted his body weight to be and like what his goals were. He picked 82 kilograms. I don't exactly know what he was thinking when he said this. Like, I can't really look at my body and be like, oh, if I weighed this amount, my body would look absolutely perfect. Like, I actually have no idea. But perhaps he has people who are measuring him and looking at him, and he knows exactly how much weight he would like to gain. This is 180 lbs, by the way, so he would still fall under being pretty slim and not like too buff, because he's like 5'10". So him being 200 lbs and buff is definitely possible. But I guess he wanted to keep the slimmerness, if that's a word, of him. Recently, a fan decided to ask V if V ever actually hit that goal weight, and V responded that he did, and he is just maintaining it at this point. So he's working out a lot to try to keep that. And naturally, when he leaves the military, he probably will lose some of that muscle mass because he just won't have time to work out the same way. And a lot of soldiers have to be very careful because they are eating more in the military. They're eating over what the normal calorie intake is because they're working out so much. And when they leave the military and stop working out so much, they also have to stop eating so much. But this gets a bit harder to do because you get used to eating a certain amount for a year or many years. Of course, I have no doubt that V would be able to maintain that, as he will have doctors and nutritionists all around him. People were definitely wondering what V was going to look like when he came out of the military. Is he going to be someone that is going to show off his body a lot more? Is he going to have chiseled abs for the rest of his career? And what is going to be the vibe that he is going to be going for? We can expect a lot, and it's very exciting to see what can come of this. Now, in my personal opinion, that obviously no one asked for, I do think that it's going to be a bit difficult for him to maintain this even with a nutritionist, and even with maybe a personal trainer, because he just wouldn't have as much time to dedicate towards working out and looking good as he does now. Now, obviously, the point of him in the military is to look good, but a good way to utilize his time, which is likely what he is doing now, is to build your body and to make yourself look good so that when you leave the military, you have this amazing physique. However, V doesn't have a job that requires him to look chiseled 24/7. It might actually require something the community might demand, but it's a job that does not force you to work out 24/7. Neither would he have the time to be able to do that if he is constantly touring, going places, or singing. I mean, there are gyms and hotels, but people who do work out a lot have said that it is difficult to maintain their workout routine when they're traveling. And I can't imagine that we would keep his physique that much longer. And I don't know if that is going to be interpreted as a negative thing. I don't mean it as a negative thing because I actually don't think it's healthy when people have chiseled abs for a prolonged period of time. It's not natural to look a certain way and in certain lightings and things like that. In order to get chiseled abs, you have to deprive yourself of water. You have to deprive yourself of food. And also, some of these people who have really chiseled abs are not really having any fat in their body. None of these things are things that are meant to happen naturally. There's also been some videos that have been going around, and they are interesting to say the least. Some people were calling it disturbing. I can definitely understand why, because these are AI-generated images that can be seen as disturbing or shocking to a community that doesn't like the idea of their favorite K-pop star dating. What happened was there were some fans who were taking videos of themselves and then, I guess, running it through an AI machine, and the machine was able to put themselves next to JK or any of their favorite K-pop stars and make it look natural, make it look like the stars kissing them, hugging them, whatever it is. I honestly don't know how to feel about this because I think that it's fun. I think that people should be allowed to have fun and do whatever they want with these clips after all their public clips. But then on the other hand, I think that these types of clips can be deceiving to people who don't know that AI exists. It also can be strange if the particular K-pop star sees the videos and images and has many heart attacks and is like, wait, when did I do that? And I think it's okay to do these sort of fun edits for yourself and maybe not post them, but obviously if they're posted publicly, then there could be a lot more that could potentially be wrong with that. The issue that I can see becoming a really big issue is how far these images go. There's already been AI images where you can see the boys do inappropriate things, and it's clearly AI. And they've done this to female celebrities. Obviously, in a world where people are so obsessed over one particular male celebrity, they're going to find a way to try to recreate those more adult-y films, if you will, of their favorite K-pop star. And this is honestly where I would definitely draw the line. However, one thing can lead to another, and people often say that allowing people to even make these types of fan edits will be a sort of gateway into that type of content, where you're making adult content out of the celebrity. However, on the other hand, other people say that it's not true and that people can just do one thing and then just leave it at that. But it also kind of normalizes AI content and the creation of content that maybe should not exist. So definitely let me know what you think about that, and if you actually do think that it is quite disturbing to see content like this, or if you think that it's actually not a big deal at all, and people should be allowed to create this and it's just fun things. Like, would you compare this to people making ships and writing fan fiction over that? Or would you compare this to the gateway to making the celebrity appear in content that they don't want to appear in? Let me know what you think